Hello everyone, I'm Musical Daredevil. Since the last update, I've spent quite a bit of time leveling up my skills and doing a bunch of side quests, and I'm just on the verge of heading up to level 3. So all I have to do is rest in this bed right here, and that will happen. Now, you've more or less seen this screen briefly a few times, and so I'll explain a little bit more in depth. Based on how you level up your skills, all of these attributes right here get a multiplier next to them, with 5 being the highest, representing 10 skill level ups, because it's 1 for every 2. And you get to choose 3 of them each time to level up. Now, I know it's been a while since the last update, but the good news is we're just going to whip right through the next few parts of the main quest. First up is this orc right here, and she is going to fill in our notes a little bit on the Nerve-Ring cult because Hashvan Tablets didn't know much about that. But before she will give us this information, we have to go to a cave out in the middle of nowhere and fetch something for her. Does this sound familiar? Well, it should, because it's the exact same thing we did in the last update. The skull itself is located in a cave near the town of Pelagiad, which you guys have seen a couple times already. In order to get to Pelagiad, we first take the Silt Strider to Seyda-Neen.
Why walk when you can ride?
I'm sure you guys miss Seyda-Neen. It's been quite a while since we've last been there. And once we get to Seyda-Neen, we just use Divine Intervention to go straight to Pelagiad, because it is a fort. The tomb itself is located right across the road, if I can remember the right direction to go in. That cave right there isn't the tomb at all, but sometimes I mistakenly think it is. Really, it's something completely different. You guys will be seeing it in a different side quest. The tomb is located right over there behind the rocks. We can just walk right in once we get up to it. As you guys saw before, these tombs are guarded by a bunch of undead. Of course, this is the good time of using undead for your own personal reasons. This isn't like necromancy, no, that's bad. I'm not going to be looting all of the tomb on this first run through it, because you guys wouldn't want to just see me standing around picking all the items off a person's dead body or whatever. Plus, this video is long enough as it is. It's got a whole bunch of stuff in it. The skeleton already saw us. One failed recording I had before this one, that skeleton actually spawned with arrows that cast paralysis. And so I got hit with an arrow, and I was paralyzed, and then by the time the arrow wore off, the skeleton already shot the next arrow into me, so I was literally locked on the spot, unable to do anything, while the skeleton just threw arrows into me. It really wasn't that fun. That sword looks kind of nice, I guess. Not much else. And I think behind this door is the way we're supposed to go. Yep. That best way right there leads to something else. It is kind of easy to get lost in these tombs, since there's so many different paths you can take, but the good news is all the dead ends are really short, so you'll end up on the right one really quickly if you get lost. That skeleton is more or less the same stuff we've seen already. I'll probably take care of my stats before heading in there. Behind this door is a skull, and the skull is guarded by a creature called a Bone Walker. These guys have a very nasty spell they cast every time they hit you, which lowers both your strength and your endurance. And you'll remember that your strength governs how much you can carry. As eventually they'll hit you enough times, your strength will go really low, and it's really annoying because you have to drop all your items, and then you have to go to the nearest shrine and recover your skills, and it's really annoying. Skull is right in the back there, and there's also a skill book in there, but I'm not going to bother with it now. Now, getting back to Balmore isn't as straightforward as some of the other places. First, we have to use Divine Intervention to warp back to Pelagiad, and then we have to go, I believe, one loading zone over, And then we can use Almsv intervention to warp to the temple in Balmora. I think that's close enough. Yep, that worked. If we just used that sort of intervention right in the tomb, we would have ended up in Vivek and had to make our way back here a different way and much longer.
Is there something I can do for you, Outlander?
Alright, back to the quest giver to give them the item we fetched. That little errand there. And Sharn gives us our notes on Nervering Cult, and we have now completed the exact same quest for a second time. I should probably mention, our character makes a note in his journal that we sort of completed the same quest twice. You can see it right there. Trading favors for information. Little snarky comment there. Oh, and if the bottom of the Mages Guild seems somewhat brighter than it normally does, that's because I took a whole bunch of lanterns when I was grinding, and since everyone's favorite merchant, Creeper, doesn't buy lanterns, I just kind of stuck them there in the bottom of the Mages Guild, since it's not really worth it to sell them. Brightens up the place quite a bit. Sup, Caius?
How can I help you?
Once we give him Sharn's notes on Nervering Cult, we can get our next quest, and that sends us to the city of Vivek. And once we get to the city of Vivek, we have to talk to 3 different people, and we have to, well, get information from them. The good news is we don't have to do any very long, lengthy fetch quests in order to get the information. There are a few small side things we have to do instead, and you'll see what those are once we get there.
We make a special trip just for you.
Okay, I should probably save and just double check the recording since things have a very odd tendency to fail for no particular reason. Everything looks good. Okay. That's a rather long loading time. Anyway, the first person we have to talk to is right here in the forward corridor, up in the middle tier. It's relatively quick to get to him. Now I just have to remember which side he's on. It's kind of confusing. This is the right one, though. The person I have to talk to is right in the corner there, and he would love to give us his notes, but we have to do a little something for him first. See, all those Dark Elves that you briefly saw staying around there won't let him leave. They think he should be a slave or something, and he doesn't want to kill them because of honor and all that stuff. Then we ask him about list of dialogue options, and he just sums up the situation. I actually had another failed recording where I forgot to ask him about these 2 dialogue options, and the quest wouldn't advance. So I basically ended up bribing everyone, and the quest wouldn't advance for some reason. I had no idea why. This guy right here is a bit of a racist, and he is the guy in charge of these 3 thugs who are holding our Argonian friend captive in here. But once they like us enough, we can then escort our friend out. If we didn't do that first, then they would actually attack us.
Is there some help? I feel as though I should know.
Now we have a bit of an escort quest, but we took care of the only enemies on it, so it's just a relatively short walk to the bookstore on the other side.
By the 3, my rights. Quickly, Outlander. I haven't much time.
Jobosh's Rare Books, and this bookstore is pretty important for quite a few side quests. Once again inside, Hulea opens up. He fills their notes about the Nervering Cult again. Doesn't know much about the 6th house. And I could show you guys all the dialogue, but that would be boring. Hasn't really heard anything about the 6th house. Whoa, clipping.
Ours is to ask.
The second person we have to talk to is a few cantons down in St. Olms. But this isn't the right way to go to get there. Oh god, inside, outside. Where the hell am I?
Speak quickly, Outlander, or go away.
Oh, that right there is the bridge I mentioned in an earlier video I modded in. With the Boots of Blinding Speed on, it's really nice and convenient. Still slow loading times. Don't know why it's doing that. Let's say Gnomes is right here. The person I have to talk to is a Khajiit named Adira and she's located all the way down the sewers for some reason. I have to remember which trap door to go into. 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. This is not the right one at all. I can probably just walk there after applying through like 5 billion rats. That person right there, I think they're hostile, maybe. But if they are the person I'm thinking of, it's kind of a long fight and I'm not going to deal with that right now. Another rat. Is this it? Yeah, it is. I can barely see them down there. First, you have to deal with the rat on that bridge. Okay, that's the Deja. And the Deja would love to talk to us and give us the notes, but the problem is there is a census and excise agent on the floors up above. Deja wants us to go get rid of him before she will give us any information. I guess the Deja didn't pay her taxes or something like that. You guys briefly saw the agent up on that second floor. He was the guy who was standing in the middle of the hallway doing nothing. Wearing all that nice clothing. Here he is, over by the waterfall. Oh, you're looking for a friend of yours, Deja. Well, yes, I do know where I can find her. She took a boat to the mainland. I know, it's very disappointing. Oh, you're heading back to the mainland? Yeah, you should totally go there and look for her. She's totally at the mainland. Hee. You can actually tell the excise agent that Deja is downstairs if you really want to, but I'm not enough of a dick to do that. She will still give the information, she'll just be kind of mad at you. I've taken care of that guy. Deja opens right up, gives us all the information on the 6th house. Mentions a few interesting things about what it is she does. She's somewhat dismissive about the Nervain cult though, just kind of calls it superstition with a whole bunch of cat-related analogies. And now we just have to go talk to our third contact, who is over right by the temple in Vivek. So we just have to warp there. That's not where we need to go at all. We have to go to the library, located inside the Hall of Wisdom, right here beneath the temple. That leads to the sewers beneath the library, which I didn't know needed to exist. Interesting. Nira Milo is our contact, and she wants us to follow her to the back of the library where she will give us the information. She doesn't want to talk here to the people, I guess. We have an escort mission in reverse. It's us following the NPC this time.
I can already tell I'm not going to like this.
Oh, you'll like it alright. She opens right up about the Nervain cult with a ton of different dialogue options, and she mentions a book called The Progress of Truth. She doesn't know much about the 6th house cult, though. Caius is going to actually ask for the book Progress of Truth when we go back to him, so we'll probably just buy it on the way back. But that more or less wraps up the 3 informants in Vivek. So, what did we learn? Well, Sean gave us notes about a group called Nervering Cult.
Go ahead.
And this is a group among the native Ashlander clans who say that at some point an ancient war hero is going to be reincarnated and is going to drive all the Imperial invaders off from Morrowind and cast down the gods that are worshipped by the temple and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's kind of a messianic prophecy. But because the Ashlander and the Nervering Cult go against temple doctrine by saying that the gods the temple worships are false gods, Hulea says that Nervering Cult is somewhat persecuted. But Maramilo mentions a group called Distant Priests who preserve a whole bunch of texts of the Ashlanders and Nervering Cults and a whole bunch of other prophecies and poems and very transparent plot-related things. Meanwhile, Adiranir had some interesting information on the Sixth House. See, Adiranir is a smuggler, and she says that all of her former smuggling clients are busy with new Sixth House related stuff. So it means that the Sixth House might actually be back on the rise again,
friend.
because now they're smuggling a whole bunch of stuff. Here's Jobasha, the very important side quest bookseller. And Progress of Truth should be somewhere in his inventory. Where is P? There it is. I'm gonna actually bribe Jobasha a little bit later off camera, since he's pretty important in terms of books. Alright guys, let me through.
If you're here, what does it ask?
There we go. That is the reason why I hate small hallways in this game. And if you play the game, you hate them too. Oh wait, this is the wrong way to go to Balmora. Okay, head back to... Wait, that's not where I wanted to go at all. Oh boy. Losing more gold because I clicked on the wrong thing. Fun times.
We make a special.
Okay,
treat
now,
just for you.
for
Same
real,
low
we can
price.
head back to Balmora and tell Caius that we did his information getting quest again.
Why walk when you can run? Hello there.
Hello,
How are
Caius. I have more information. Again. So, he tells us that he is going to read Progress of Truth and look over the notes, and then he is going to meditate it, and so all we have to do is wait 24 hours and he will have new orders for us. He'll go meditate on everything on his own. Hello, Caius. It's a day later now. Caius' next quest involves us going to Alderaan and talking to a guy named Hasur Zanzibani. And when we talk to Hasur Zanzibani, we have to gather information. Seriously, Bethesda, is it really that hard to come up with an original quest idea? I mean, come on. I just did the same quest like 4 times, 5 times now. However many times it's been, I don't know. All just kind of blurs together.
I can spare a few moments, if you care.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, I can't quite remember which building Sir Zanzibani is located in. I know it's located in one of the tavern-like places. Hopefully it won't take too long for me to find him.
Hello. Did you want something?
I think it's one of these over here. That's not quite a tavern. This is. I do know that it's located on the small set of stairs below the bar. Oh, and he's right here. When we walk up to him, he talks about business, and we want to know, say, what are the gift-giving customs of the Ashlanders? And he says that it's common courtesy for a stranger to give a thoughtful gift to the Ashlanders. And we ask him about that, he says, well, for instance, if someone were to give me a book of poetry, I would show a good sign of respect. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So off we are to the booksellers to find a book on poetry. Now I did a small side quest in Alderaan which makes all the merchants like me a little bit more, so hopefully it won't cost too much for this quest. I know Caius keeps throwing gold at us, like 200 per quest, so at least we're earning something, I guess.
Care to trade?
I think this guy might have books. No he doesn't. Oh, he has those books. Oh, I sold them to them. I'll sell them to him. Yeah, let's get the guy a book on corpse preparation. I'm sure that would be a very thoughtful gift. Oh, I'm an idiot. This guy's a bookseller. Unfortunately, he's not involved in that side quest, so he's somewhat neutral towards us. Oh well. Not much I can do. Oh, what books on purchase? Ashland hymns. That sounds good. It's not too expensive either. Now we can come running back to Zanzibani and tell him that we got him a book on poetry.
So strange this place.
If I
Matsera.
Say, Zanzibani, you
Take
know
too
that
much time.
thoughtful gift you mentioned, the book on poetry? Yeah, guess what I have? And like all of the other people we've talked to so far, he just gives us this gigantic paragraph of information once we complete his quest for him, and a whole bunch of dialogue options. He gives us information on the Ashlanders, and I sort of briefly mentioned what they were. They're a tribe of natives. Way back in the day, like several hundred years ago, the Ashlanders and the Great Houses were all sort of equal in power distribution. But then the Great Houses seized a whole bunch of power, especially in the war that Nerevar fought in, and the Ashlanders more or less getting cast off into small little camps out in the middle of absolute nowhere, and so they're somewhat nomadic. And that's pretty tough for them. So it's not really a surprise that they would sort of create this messianic prophecy of this guy coming back to redeem them.
I can...
Oh boy, the bridge is crowded again. One time I actually managed to fall off the bridge and failed recording because all these NPCs were blocking the way, and so I couldn't get past. Narrow hallways again. Oh, once we give that to him, Caius already gives us our next quest. I wasn't expecting him to do that. He says that now that we have information on the Ashlanders, we are going to go speak to them over at the Urshalaku camp. And then he gives us a rather large plot dump. He says that the whole reason why the Emperor set us free is because the Emperor believes that we are this messianic figure who is going to take care of Nerevar prophecies and do all that stuff they believe. And he hands us a copy of the package, which Celes Gravius gave us delivered to him way back in the early stages of the game. And Caius doesn't quite know what to think of this. But I guess that's the reason why I wanted us to gather all the information. So he sends us out to the Ursulaku camp and throws more gold at us in order to go speak to them and figure out what's up. But I think that's for next time.
I'd be happy to talk. My pleasure, really.
I'm Musical Daredevil, and I will see you guys when we figure out what exactly is going on.